Hello, I've just been asked to record a quick video on behalf of the TSA, just to tell you a little bit about our journey so far, and just to highlight some of the incredible work that the TSA do as a charity to support families like ours. So you'll have to bear with me, I've not really done anything like this before, so I'll do my best. I've got quite a lot to say and I talk quite fast, so yeah, bear with me. So first of all, my name is Laura, I'm 33. I'm from Lancashire. I work as a police officer and I'm married to Aaron. We've been together for almost 13 years and we've got two beautiful children together. Ruby's 4 next month and Jonah is 1. Fast approaching terrible 2s. They love nothing more than running around the house together causing absolute chaos. We nicknamed Jonah Wreck-It Ralph because he just loves to bash things and throw things, and yeah, he's just a little whirlwind. But he's the happiest little whirlwind you'd ever meet, and yeah, he's just so funny and everybody loves him. Ruby is just the best big sister we could ever have wished for Jonah. She's caring, loving, she's a little comedian too, and don't get me wrong, they have their moments wrestling each other, but she's his bodyguard and best friend all rolled into one. Yeah, we're just very lucky to have them both. So Jonah was born October 2022, and for the first 6 months of his life we had no idea that he had any sort of underlying health conditions, and then when he was around 6 months old, it was the 8th of May excuse me, 2023, so last year, he was sat at the high chair one morning, just having his breakfast, and he started with what we now know to be infantile spasms. So his head would drop to the side, his eyes would roll, and then he'd sit up, carry on doing what he was doing, just eating up, and then he'd just do it again, sit up, do it again. And this had happened in clusters, first of all lasting a few seconds, then building up to lasting several minutes. We knew something, really wasn't right, so I took him straight to hospital. We were initially sent home, being told that it didn't present as typical seizure activity, but we weren't happy with that, so we took him back and he was then admitted to hospital where he spent the next 9 days undergoing various tests and investigations to try and determine the cause of these infantile spasms. He had an EEG, which is where they attach lots of different wires to your head to pick up on brainwave activity. That detected the epileptic brain activity, and he also had an MRI scan that unfortunately revealed multiple tumours on Jonah's brain. Most of the tumours are on the perimeter of the brain, so like the outside of his brain. But there are a few, they're called nodules. They're like growths that grow on the fluid-filled bits inside your brain. There's like 2 fluid-filled sacs inside your brain, I think. You'll have to bear with me, I'm not up on the medical lingo. I feel like I have done a medical degree since Jonah's diagnosis, but yeah, you'll have to bear with us. We're just slowly learning more and more about it as we go. So he's got a couple of those nodules on the fluid-filled bits inside his brain. They're the ones to watch, to be honest, because I think it's sounding like they can be the problematic brain tumours, depending on sort of how big they grow and where they grow. So it's just a case of monitoring them. So a combination of his EEG, his MRI scan, and also he had like an unusual birthmark on the inside of his wrist. Since birthmarks, it will be since birth. Sorry, excuse me. So we'd highlighted that to health visitors and things in the previously when he was first born, but they just thought it was a birthmark, and on its own, yeah, it was just a birthmark, but it was quite unusual. And put it all together with these other results, and ultimately Jonah was diagnosed with Tuberous Sclerosis Complex. So Jonah's got TSC2. So I remember the moment, sorry, excuse me, full of a cold. Sorry. The moment the doctors came to tell us Jonah's diagnosis, we knew it was serious because they asked me and Aaron to go into another room whilst Jonah stayed with the healthcare assistant on the ward. And there were 2 chairs set out for us. The doctor was absolutely amazing that looked after us. We were very lucky. And he obviously explained Jonah's diagnosis of tuberous sclerosis. Honestly, time just stood still. Our hearts sank. We were devastated. Just felt like our hearts had been shattered into a million pieces, to be honest with you. And for quite a long time, it just felt like we were living a nightmare, like it wasn't real. Because you just have all these visions of the future for your children, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future and what the future looks like, but it just felt like we were almost like we were grieving for the life we'd imagined for our baby boy. And I think life's just full of constant worries anyway, isn't it? But I think that's just like, it's just amplified it all. And obviously we just felt just sad for him, really, because as he grows up, he's got this condition to live with. It's unfortunately, there's no cure for TSC. There's not like, there's treatments for some of the problems it causes, but ultimately there's no treatment, and it is something he's going to live with for the rest of his life, which as a parent's a very difficult pill to swallow, because all you want is for your children to be happy and healthy, and I'd give absolutely anything to take it away from him, but that's the hardest part. I can't. All we can do, myself and Aaron, as heartbroken as we were following the diagnosis, Jonah's diagnosis, we just said, as long as it honestly felt like we've won the lottery, the lottery of life, having our 2 beautiful children. We know how lucky we are, and all we can do now is just as long as they're happy and smiling, just keep, then we're winning, aren't we? That's all we can do. So that's what we will do. But yeah, it is difficult to try and stay upbeat and positive all the time. As only human at the end of the day, and things like this are just, it's hard. But I suppose that's where the TSA step in. I describe them as a light in the dark, really, when you need it the most. So first of all, the doctor who gave us Jonah's diagnosis gave us an information pack with the TSA's information on. Sorry, excuse me, I'm full of a cold, like I said. Sorry. Gave us this information pack. The doctor gave us a leaflet that had the TSA's information on, and also lots of information about the condition. From there, obviously, you just feel, when you first receive a diagnosis, or a loved one does, you just feel overwhelmed, lost. It's so daunting. You especially when you first leave hospital, you just being told you're under all these different medical professionals. It's a lot to take on. But the TSA I contacted them, emailed them. They sent me out a support pack full of information and advice on where to turn to when I need help, and it's also to guide us as a family through the next few months and beyond, really. On top of that, they've got a helpline, so if you need to just speak to somebody who just gets it, you can ring them anytime, which is fantastic. And honestly, it will be a lifeline for so many people out there who are affected. I mean, we're very fortunate to be surrounded by family and friends, but with every will in the world, half the time they don't know what to say and they don't fully understand it, and we can't expect them to, because it is an absolute minefield, So just to have the TSA there as an extra support is just massive. They also put on events to bring people in the TSC community together, which again, just to know you're not alone in it, and there are other people out there, it just helps get you through. They've got a fund to help families who might be having any financial difficulties following a diagnosis with TSC, because it has just so many effects on your life. Things change and your life doesn't look the same as it did before. But thanks to the TSA, they just offer invaluable support to families like mine. And I just wanted to thank you for listening if you've got this far. I just wanted to raise as much awareness as I can for the TSA. Yeah, and Vital Funds, because they do research into ultimately finding a cure. So, but they need the funds to be able to do that, to continue supporting families like mine, and also to continue the research into finding a cure. So, yeah, thank you.